Boom! Story time! So, just a little while ago, as some of you probably know, I made a video building and updating the killing corridor for Alpha 20. It actually went much better than I expected, and the killing corridor still worked perfectly with basically no updates. Then, after that video was released, the devs released a new update to 7 days, a new build for Alpha 20 that, introduced some problems to that design. Now, I'm not going to say that the devs saw my video and went away and made a patch to specifically undermine the killing corridor, but the devs definitely saw my video and went away to make a patch specifically to undermine the killing corridor. And it wouldn't be the first time either. So now we're back. We're back in 7 Days to Die to see what updates we need to build onto the killing corridor to try and get around their cheeky update. I'm not going to call them the fun pimps anymore. They're now the cheeky pimps. G'day guys, my name's Josh, you can call me Jawoodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die, where we're back in Alpha 20, back in our testing world, to try and go toe to toe with, I was gonna say the fun pimps, the cheeky pimps once again. The killing corridor in the last video that I made was working perfectly. Now, admittedly, I made that in the last update before Alpha 20 Stable came out, which is probably silly by me. Should have waited till Stable. But they added into the Stable build a new provision to stop bases like this working. Namely that before, as you saw in the video, when the zombies fall through that chute, they used to land, stop, prop, and run back to the stairs at the start again. And it all worked very simply and very wonderfully. So what they've added into Alpha 20 Stable is like a 50% chance, a very high chance, that whenever a zombie falls any amount of distance, they'll go into destroy anything mode, which means they'll just start breaking down pillars and stuff. It's a very good provision to stop these kind of drop bases. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do to try and fix it, but I'm going to give it my best crack to see how we go. It's a little bit cheeky on their part, but I am here for it. And hey, if you like me trying to break the Fun Pimps' game and come up with cool base designs, perhaps consider giving a tickle to the sub button down there and join me on this adventure. So this is, for those of you who don't know, this is the killing corridor. It's one of, although if I'm being honest, it is the simplest, cheapest, and easiest Blood Moon Horde bases that you can build in 7 Days to Die. And it's so bleeding effective because basically it's just an elevated fighting platform that keeps the zombies where you can kill them, but keeps you where they can't touch you. So you can just dominate the Blood Moon Hordes to your heart's content while keeping you and all your squishy bits safe and sound. It really is just that simple and just that easy. This kind of horde-based design has seen me through many a Blood Moon Horde. It's just wonderful and it just works. Or at least it did until the most recent update. So I filmed a couple weeks ago the tutorial for this base build, which by the way, if you're curious on how to build this, I'll link the video down below. It's not necessary to build it exactly like for like. In fact, like you can add extra supports in and stuff if you want to, as long as this bit here is the same. But I filmed that video in the update immediately before Alpha 20 Stable, which was like B218, I think it was. Whereas now, if you look in that corner over there, we're in build 238. So a completely different build version of the game. So before, as you can see in that old video, when it was working perfectly, the zombies would run up, run along the tube, drop down, have a bit of a bonk, get a bit annoyed, and then run back to the stairs again, and continue running that loop forever and ever and ever. No worries, no knackers. But now, what they've done is they've made it so that any zombie, you get a couple of zombies in, any zombie that takes a fall has a pretty high chance to go into what's called destroy anything mode, where instead of attacking me and running the path, they'll just decide to destroy whatever block is nearby, which in this case is the pillars, which as you can imagine, given it's an elevated base, is not too great for trying to keep you alive. I'll see if some of these Arlenes will do it for me, just to kind of showcase the point and what the weakness is. Come on, Arls, I'll turn on your information. I just need, yeah, there we go. There we go. That one there. One of those Arlenes, you can see by the stats above her head, which one was it? There we go. The second line from the bottom, destroy area, right there. Destroy area for 12 seconds, basically. Some of these guys are still normal. Yep, some of them are still going to approach me as they normally would. But both those Arlenes there are in destroy area mode. That's what they've introduced to nerf this kind of base. And that's what I'm here to try and fix. The first thing I want to try and do, it's an old trick we learned back in like Alpha 18, I think it was, when that destroy area mode was first introduced, but in a much more watered down than what we have now. It's ridiculously OP now, especially with their sledgehammer hands. What we used to do is make like a zombie slide. The idea being, if you can stop them taking damage, they might not realize that they've taken a fall. Stop them taking damage, stop the destroy area mode, things continue as normal. So what we used to use were the wedge tips, but I'm not sure now because those were back in the days when the wedge tips were OP and the zombies couldn't path on them, but I'll give it a crack anyway and just see if it works. By the way, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. Don't build any of these like testing designs until we're sure that it works. Don't invest all your resources into making one of these things only to get chewed in the ass later on. That would be bad because then you've wasted all your materials. So if I just make a big old zombie slide all the way down to the bottom, maybe that'll keep me safe and keep them off me pillars. I've built this little like zombie slide thing, which I think is what I called it back in Alpha 18. I've built this thing to try and get them to slide down it. It might still need them to go into ragdoll, which might be the trigger for their destroy everything mode now. But this might work out. I'm just a bit nervous about it though, because they're at the top, which they can now run up these things. They're not too far away from my ankles, so that might not actually work out particularly well. Let's get a couple of Arlenes again. Come on, please. In fact, let's get a couple more, because I just want to see if none of them go into destroy everything mode, then we win. If one of them goes into destroy everything mode, we don't win. Come on, keep going. They're all going the right way. So are those ones. See how they're not falling far enough to take damage? I'm hoping that's the trigger that will stop them being a bit silly. Oh, so far so good. This might be a very early win, though I'm not confident just yet. Oh, hang on. She looks mad. She looks mad. Yes. There you go. There you bloody go. Destroy area. There it is. The telltale sign. Well, didn't work out. Although I'm curious what they're going to try and be, what they're going to be trying to break down. Are they coming for me or what kind of pillar? Or they're just going to run in circles for a bit. Let's keep, no, that's the wrong one. Let's keep you girls going. Keep you running around. I can hear a little bit of beating somewhere, but, oh, there you are. Yep, nah, not going to work. All right, it was worth a shot. Let's try something different. Just get rid of that. I wasn't expecting it to work that well anyway, because they nerfed those, like, those wedge tips a long time ago, back with the zombie-proof walls that we used to make. So now, I want to try and take the same design, but using some of the new blocks we have. Where is narrow? So these were ones that I wished we had back in all of the alphas before, because they're really good for a lot of things. But it's basically just a wedge, the same as before, but much, much steeper. I don't know if zombies can path on these things, but I'm hoping they can't, because if they can't, they'll fall on down. Just knock this, I suppose, and go off a little bit. I just need them to stagger. Although if it didn't work, this is the thing though, if it didn't work with the fat wedges where they were just sliding down it and getting a little bit of a stumble on, how confident am I that it's going to work on this one? Well, the answer is not very, but I have to give it a shot. It doesn't quite reach the bottom, which worries me a bit. In fact, maybe even... This is another thing that used to work back in the old alphas as well, because hay bales stop you from taking damage. So potentially, chucking a couple of bales at the bottom here might do the same thing again. This is all assuming that it's something to do with like the zombies taking damage is what sets them off, rather than just the physical act of dropping. So the hay bale might stop them down there too. Let's get another couple of Arlenes, get a whole bunch of them. Come this way, please, and let me have a look at you. It will never not be satisfying to be watching them all like make a conga line of zombie death and funnel their way up to the top. How's this gonna go? Down they go, they land on the hay bales. Any of you guys getting antsy? Any of you guys getting aggressive? So far so good, though they're not all running back to where I want them to. In fact, that might be... Hang on a second. Any of you guys in destroying anything? Let me have a little squiz through, Yeah, you're in destroy area. See, look, even Taken swings at my pillar too. Yeah, right. Okay, which by the way, to get like those stats up in debug mode, if you press numpad 0, that brings up all of their information. Okay, that doesn't work either. I mean, there is a good chance this isn't fixable. Like, to making the zombies just go into destroy base mode is a pretty OP trick. I'm not sure how to get around it. I'm gonna try and find something, but there is a distinct possibility the Fun Pimps may have won. I'm just looking through these blocks to try and find something else that might work for what I need it to do. But I tell you what, this is really shining a light, showcasing at just how much more likely it is that zombies will go into their destroy everything mode. Like it used to be, like it used to happen rarely. It was like a 10% chance in Alpha 18 and 19 that zombies would go into that mode. And even then, it was only for a couple of seconds. But now, it's like a 50% chance that a zombie will go into destroy everything mode. And then it's like for 12 or like 15 seconds as well. It's really severe and causing some pretty serious issues. And there's nothing in here that's really shouting out at me as a better option. Getting them to drop isn't the issue. That's done, that's fine, that's easy. But now, it's how do I get them to land and not just ruin my base? I'm significantly less confident now of getting this to work than I was this morning. Maybe I'm going about this wrong. Maybe the issue is that they're running off the end and falling as opposed to jumping. Like they're not making the conscious effort, so the game is going, something must be wrong. If I was making a game, it'd be shit. I would make it so that if I got the enemies to act in a way that I wanted to, I wouldn't risk them going into this kind of mode, because that would like break POIs and cause all sorts of issues. So I think if I can get them to jump, instead of them just running off the side here, like that's tried and true, super easy, super doable, upside down wedge tips are OP. But if I can get them to try and take a leap, oh, that might work. That might bloody work, you know. Okay, how can I get this to happen then? Let's get some side pole centers. We'll go like this and just chuck it up. Yeah, that way. That way? Or do I want you to be out here? I want them to try and jump onto it and miss, but if they do land it, still fall down. I don't know, I'll try it here. I'll try it about there and see how we go. This might completely break the entire thing, but it's worth a crack. Let's go, you. Lots of Arlene's, come over this way, please. I'm not sure. I don't think this is gonna work out very well, but I just need to get them hopping and skipping. That didn't work at all. That didn't work at bloody all. Damn it! It appears to me that they're mostly falling down right in that corner there. So if I chuck in a little hurdle there, they've got enough room over the top to jump over the top of it. Yes, they do. If I get rid of the little base doodle down here, I'm sorry to do it to you. I feel a little bit bad if I'm being honest. We'll go copy shape and then not quite copy rotation. We'll chuck you in like that. That should hopefully mean... So that's still a walkable ground. They see that as walkable ground. So they might try and take that leap. I might need to fix the roof, but we'll see how we go. Get a couple of Arlene's out there. Get you coming over. Because that might stop them. Because now in their brain, the game is saying, this was a conscious act. We jumped. We didn't just fall. No. Okay, that hasn't worked at all. That's a big old fail. I've got rid of the stupid hurdle and I haven't rebuilt the dick, but that's okay. This should still work. Maybe just like not fling them out as far. Okay. So if I can't stop them falling, or if I can't stop them going into destroy anything mode, maybe the route we need to take is instead of stopping them, we just have to like corral them when they go into that mode. Either get them to destroy things that aren't important, like anything other than the pillars, for example. Like, yes, you could just make this one big solid thing. I like having some aesthetics to it, so like having like pillars and stuff like that, but you could just make this completely solid and negate any of those issues, I suppose. But what if, so if they fall down, what if we just keep them away from the important stuff, which we know how to keep zombies away from important things. We can build a force field down there, which I did do. I think even as early as Alpha 17, we started building force fields around killing corridors to protect the struts. That might actually work, because then they'll fall down, go into destroy anything mode, and the worst that might happen is they might break a couple of arrow slots, but it's the trench underneath that's the important part. That might be a doer. That might be a doer. Alright, let's start tunneling things away. Let's get it done. I'm not going to go over the ins and outs of the zombie force field. Again, there's an entire video for that where I built this thing and tested it and got it to work perfectly. But basically, for a little crash course in it, effectively, what you need is a nice deep pit around where you don't want the zombies to go. Think of like a moat, but you can use the arrow slits. The zombies see it as a big hole in the ground, but you can walk over the top. to dig yourself a nice big trench, at least 3 deep around where the important structural components are, all the way down to there. And then on the top, at ground level, you just get the half block arrow slit, get you facing up like a cattle grid on a farm, like that. Now I'm gonna go 2 wide and 3 deep. That should be enough. You can make this as big as you want, but it's gotta be at least 2, probably 3. In fact, no, fuck it. Let's go all out. I'll make this 3 wide. It's not gonna quite match up to the aesthetic, but it might keep us safe. But it's gotta be wide and it's gotta be deep, or else they'll just tunnel through it or jump over it and cause you other issues. It took a little bit, but there you go. I mean, it's a significant increase in the amount of time and resources you need to do this, I suppose. But like the best thing about the killing corridor was always that it didn't use much time or resources to build. Like, yeah, you could build a gigantic castle, whatever you want to do, and fight the horde that way. But if you've got half a day to build yourself a horde base because you've been too busy, I don't know, having fun and looting and murdering and doing all sorts of other stuff in the game, you want to throw together something like this that's going to be nice and easy to do. So resource requirement has gone up a little bit, not too badly though. And all this is just a big gap underneath and a big sea of arrow slots on top. That should work just fine. Only changes I've made is extended the pillars down into the bedrock and filled up the little gap over here. Because all that's left for me to do now is just to go around the outside here, give the arrow slots a nice stable platform to grip onto on the sides. Don't build horizontally off sand. It's a really bad idea. Well, go around, finish all this off because physics is turned on. There it is there. Physics is active, so I don't want this to collapse because that'll waste a lot of my time. To be honest though, that actually looks pretty cool. Looks like it's built on a nice solid foundation, which I'm a fan of. Now what I need 1 or 2 willing Arlenes to come and just run this for me, just so I can see where you're gonna land. I don't care what you do once you get down there, I'll kill you anyway. I just need to know what block you're gonna land on. Right there. Alright, easy peasy, thank you very much. Get rid of that one, and in fact that one there too, you can both die. So all I want to do now is just replace that bit there with a platform for them to run on. They can't use the arrow slits. I'll just drop them there. They'll just immediately go into I don't know where I am mode and start breaking everything around them. So if I give them a decent way for them to get out of the arrow slots and away from my pillars, yes, they might squat down there and start beating on the arrow slots, but that doesn't actually affect anything. As long as I keep them away from the pillars, we'll be fine. God, that's a good looking base. Jeez, I like how that's turned out. The red and light grey accents just giving me the fizz, doing things for me. Right. Arlene, please come over this way. There we go. So they shouldn't, yeah, there you go. See, they're already not going on the arrow slits. That's already a good thing. Now, I just want to know, I can't stop them going in to destroy everything. I know that. Well, that's a big stumble by you. Yeah, there you go, back to the bridge. That's all fine. So you, in fact, if I quickly just pause that and have a gander at this one, it doesn't tell me any of their info? Wait, what? Where's all my info gone? All right, never mind then. Guess I'll just deal without it. She's gone the long way around. I just want to see how long it takes for one of them to start beating on something and what they're going to beat on. Because if I'm just keeping... Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's getting real ambitious. Back you go. So even when they go in to destroy everything, they try and jump and try and do some sketchy shits. Ooh. Are you now stuck there forever? That could be interesting. Very interesting. All right. Duly noted. Not quite perfect yet, but considerably better than it was. I don't think, like, the Forcefield does a reasonably good job of keeping most of the zombies out of the way. If they do go in to destroy anything, they're kind of carrying off elsewhere and not really giving too much of an issue to the pillars. But a couple of them are still slinking through, and a bigger issue is that when they do make it to the pillars, then go out of their destroy everything mode, they're now stuck at the pillars and can't get back because the Forcefield is locking them in. So kind of a catch-22 there. Plus, I mean, the other option, or the other issue there is they're stuck underneath the awning here, so getting down and killing them is a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. We might have to go full cheese. We might have to really break this and really take advantage of the blocks we have available to us. I've tried to keep this based in physics in the real world so it looks like it makes sense, but I don't think there's a way to get around it. I think the destroy everything mode is just a little bit too overpowered for this kind of thing. I might have to change this considerably. I've reverted the corridor back to the start of the day before I did any of the tinkering, because I'm gonna have to change the fundamental design of it. Like the bit at the top where all the zombies and you go, that's fine, that can stay. What I need to change though is the support, and it's something I haven't done for a while, because it feels a bit cheap if I'm being honest, but I'm building this and testing this so that people who are struggling to fight hordes have a way to take on a Bloodmoon horde and not be dying all the time. And if that's your case, well, this will get you through. So all I'm gonna do, oh man, I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna grab myself a sheet. And those of you who've done this before will know exactly what I'm about to do and will be like, oh, Josh, you're better than that. And it turns out, no, I'm not. So, we're gonna get ourselves a sheet, which is the thinnest block you can get in this game. Get rid of both of you. Chuck in sheets like that, and then on the top, gonna spin it round so that the sheet is flat against the top of that square area, and chuck it in that side. So now, if I get rid of you, despite the fact that this looks bloody ridiculous, it bloody works for some reason. In you go like that. So now according to the game, like if I get those full blocks back again, go with these ones actually, if I chuck those down just next door, that's how the game is interpreting that. It thinks that entire block is taken up by concrete. You and I know otherwise. So if the zombies do try and get to here, they've got nothing to swing at. They've got nothing to try and break. It's just a levitating base. I'm going to do that for all of the supports. And hopefully, if they do go in to destroy everything, that should keep everything safe. I'm not sure why some of my blocks are starting to glow pink. It doesn't there, but it does elsewhere. Like, my physics is on, but nothing's really causing me issues. I'm not sure. So when the rumors started coming out that the first killing corridor had issues with the new update, along with those issues were apparently a lot of stuff to do with like the new physics and stuff like that. Like the physics engine just wasn't up to par, and I guess we're getting a little showcase of that now. But hey, if my base wants to stay standing even when everything gets broken, that's fine with me. This would work if the physics was working. It's just a little bit bugged out at the moment. That's all good. That's all good to go. Nothing for them to swing at here, nor anywhere. I think we're basically fine. Though I will fill up this last little bit over here, just for some redundancy. It looks so silly. It looks so silly like that. I know why it works. It's got like levitation going on, but God, it just feels weird to look at it like that. Doesn't look like it should exist in the world. But let's get ourselves some Arlenes as always. Come over here, please. In fact, we'll get some more of yours because I want to know what happens to you. I'm propped up there. I'm nice and safe. I think that was the first little instance of destroying everything, but she got there and just turned around instead. Make a pile of Arlenes for us. So what happens now? Some of you are definitely in destroy everything mode. Yes, you definitely are. But you've got no idea what to do. You're just running in circles and taking swings at your friends. Very interesting. Alright. I'll run this a bit more and see if anything actually happens, but so far so good. They go to try and swing at stuff, there's nothing for them to hit, so they go back from whence they came and start running in circles again. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Rock and roll. I've been running it for a while and we haven't had even a blink of an issue yet. So let's get this getting a little bit more. Let's go like all out. Let's get a couple of demos. Let's get a couple of dogs. Let's get a couple of whites. Let's get like the real worst things that you could expect to come across on a horde. I'm gonna clear out some of these Arlenes actually. They'll get too congested. The worst things on a horde night, these are the things you don't want to come up against, but if those can just like kind of cruise around and not cause me any dramas, then I think we're fine. I mean, the thing with this is though, the pathing, the way the zombies think is the same for all of them. The only difference is the spiders that will try and jump to your feet. They won't jump over gaps unless you're standing there on the other side to path to you differently, but they will like do like a jump attack to get to you. But like, this is fine. This is totally fine. They get a bit aggro, they go and stand in the shade for a bit to cool off, then go back from whence they came. This is fine. It's cheap, it's fine. I feel a little bad that I've completely broken the AI again, but hey, That's what I'm here for. So I was talking about how with like the Forcefield grill underneath the killing corridor, how that was potentially a more expensive version. With this though, it's the same as the first build of it. I mean, yes, you could add more supports and stuff like that if they ever fix the physics glitches, but all you've done is just change the block you build the supports out of using plates, which you can go all out to steel with as well, instead of full blocks. And we're fine. We're bloody fine. The floating killing corridor is just wondrous and perfect, just like the first version was. Now, if there's an update in the future that breaks this, I'll have to come back and try and break it again. But for B238, that's spot bloody on. Just to make it look a little bit more like a spaceship or a railgun or something. Oh, he's taking swings at nothing. Swinging at all my hopes and dreams there, mate. It's completely vapid and empty. But I've just added some extra support through here, so like the main corridor bit is more supported. It means that like the chance of things going wrong is lessened. Like if I break a couple of those blocks, there's more factor of safety built in, there's more blocks to take the weights. You're really just cooked over there, aren't you, bud? Having a real pineapple of a time, but that's okay. His one demo is just off with the fairies, apparently. But this is going fine. They're running through. Occasionally they stop and take swings at nothing, but keep on moving through. The only thing they're doing now, the only damage they're doing is to the other zombies. We've turned the zombie horde into an ally, like we're turning on zombie or monster infighting in some of the old Doom games. I've killed all the zombies so I can have some peace and quiet. I think we're about ready. I'm pretty happy with this design from a functionality standpoint. So yeah, if you're facing a Blood Moon horde and you're struggling to survive them, this will get you through. So just add on these levitation plates onto the build from the other episode. Everything else here is exactly the same. But all I'm going to do before I run the horde is quickly put on the extra bars on here. All these are concrete bars. They weigh less than iron bars. Keep that in mind because structural integrity is important. I was going to do that. I'm also going to chuck a couple of beams around the outside here just so I don't have spiders showing up. But then once that's done, we're ready to go. There we go. Just built myself a little bunker over here just to keep the spiders and the vultures out. The spiders don't cause that much of an issue if they go through the corridor. I just want to stop them jumping from like out here, bypassing the whole thing and landing up the top here instead. So just a wall to keep them out and vultures for the same reason. And I think we're about ready to go. So let's skip ahead to the horde. Now, this should be a pretty considerable horde. I think I've got it turned up to 64 zombies just to see how it goes. Yeah, there they are. All right, that all looks good. Who have we got coming in? We've got soldiers, we've got skymos, we've got a whole host of lots of things. They're all going the right way. They're all falling down the right way. It's all looking pretty spiffing to start off with. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. This is bloody lovely. I've put down a couple lanterns to better see what's going on. Now, interestingly, down here, they're piling up so much. That's how many zombies are in destroy everything mode at the moment. That's how ridiculously over the top that ratio now is. It's like more than half. That is way more zombies in destroy everything mode than there should be. So they've all piled up. So occasionally they take swings at themselves and might do some glancing block damage on what's around them. So you do need to make sure, again, always make sure the weakest parts of your base are the most upgraded, so the supports, namely, need to be the best that there is. All out to steel if you can afford it, or the best material you can make. But they're just sitting down there hitting each other in the face, really, so I'm free to hang out up here. Now, if you've missed it, by the way, ooh, there's a couple of zombies sitting on the walls over there, but that's alright. If you're not sure how to best defend against a Blood Moon horde in here, it's not an AFK base. Where's that one? Chuck it on so I can see. What you need to be doing is just firing down here. Easy headshots every day of the week. Yes, I'm using insta-kill gun, but you could use a rifle, a bow if you need to, shotguns, any sort of range weapons you want. So they pop up. You shoot them, they die. If you don't kill them, they go down and come back up again like a repeating game of whack-a-mole. Super easy, super simple, and work at a treat too. So despite the sheer amount of zombies under there's nothing really going on. One cheeky Molotov, if you put like a hole at the back or something to drop a Molotov down there, that's going to give you a good chunk of experience nice and easily. In fact, I kind of want to see that happen, so give me a molly real quick. We'll light you up and I'll throw you into the midst of them. There we go. That'll keep us very warm up by the zombie bonfire. The only issue I can really see with this, the only thing that you really need to keep an eye on, is just the mups in here who occasionally stop to beat on the walls inside, but this is your killing zone. If they're stopping still where you're going to be firing down, super simple solution. Kill the zombie. I know, it's a contentious idea in a zombie killing game, but if you kill that clown before they do too much damage, you're fine. Do that, don't let demolishers explode, easy bloody peasy, and you should be fine to go. So good though. I love how well that's worked out. They tried to stop us. Ooh, actually, one of the blocks has been destroyed. That's what I was talking about. Occasionally, some like offhanded blows from zombies swinging at their friends will clip the blocks up above. But if they're steel, they're only concrete at the moment, they'll survive for a pretty long time. And if you're actually killing the zombies, not just AFKing it like I am at the moment, you should be more than fine. I just wanted to see how this actually goes, like how often they do take swings. And it really is just there's too many zombies down there. They pile up on each other and take a swing. So there goes the block. So a couple of extra supports down here. You can make this as thick as you wanted to. I've just made it 4 thick or 2 by 2 because why not? It just looked fine. You can even have this like supported out on the side, like a bit like crab legs like I did in Darkness Falls to support it better there. As I said at the start, you don't have to build it one for one how I've built it here. Just take note of the important parts, the zombie drop, the levitating supports, and the zombie stairs at the back as well. Those are the critical parts. The rest of this stuff, beef it up to your heart's content. You'll be fine. So I think I'm pretty happy just to leave this here. I'll just leave them running around in circles for our own enjoyment. The only issue here is they are grouping up under there, those accidental hits, but again, as long as you're not, like this won't be an AFK base, killing corridors never were, well the very early ones were, but these ones aren't. They will eventually do enough accidental damage to do something serious and something might collapse. But as long as you're here actually fighting and playing properly, you should be A-okay to survive in this, other than the most top-notch hordes. But at that point, you'll have all the materials in the world to fight off whatever you need to and build gigantic mountains of castles if your heart desires. But I'm gonna have to leave this episode here and hopefully not come back and do any more updates to the Killing Corridor, because hopefully there won't be another nerf update purely designed to break this base. But I'll have to come back and make some more bases and fight more zombies in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to the patrons of the Patreon who made this episode possible. If y'all like to, make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.